Did you guys hear the story of the 17-year-old student that was found brutally murdered after she failed to show up for an exam? Her body was riddled with blade marks, almost as if they used machete to beat her up. And that's not the worst part. Her eyes were also harvested, which is making a lot of people believe that she was a victim of ritual killing. But the sad part to this story for me is the fact that it's not getting the coverage that it needs. And it looks like the police are not investigating the killer because up until this point, there is no suspect. So this happened in Oyo State, and the victim, known as Desola, was a 17-year-old ND2 mass communication student of Adeseun Ogundoyin Polytechnic in Eruwa, Oyo State. It was said that Desola was in the middle of writing her first semester exam when this tragedy happened. And according to sources, they said they had seen her earlier that week, around the 10th down to the 15th of June 2023. She had come for a few papers and she had written an exam. She started writing the exams. However, subsequently, they stopped seeing her for the rest papers. Her classmates were worried. Her friends were like, where is she and why is she not here for the other papers? And one day after she missed an examination around the 14th and 15th of June 2023, it was said that her classmates and friends went to her lodge outside of school campus. She didn't stay in school campus. She had a private lodge outside of school, a student lodge, and that was where she lived. And that was where her friends and classmates went to check up on her. And when they got to her place, they noticed that her door was locked from the outside, which gave them the impression that she was not around, or she had left, or she had gone somewhere. They also may have tried calling her phone, but it's either it didn't go through or she didn't pick. And so they continued with their exams. They didn't think too much of it until the 15th of June 2023. A few days later, neighbors in her lodge began perceiving an offensive odor, and that was when they decided to trace the smell and realize it was coming from her lodge. They peeped through her window and saw clearly that she was in her pool of blood, lying dead. That was when they knew something bad had happened. They called the school authorities, and instantly the school authorities came and broke down her door to find her in a state of complete brutality. Desola's body was riddled with machete marks, and it was visible that her eyes had been plucked out of the socket. And it was at this point that they knew that she had been murdered. But now the big question is, who did it? When and why did they do it? As it stands now, there is no follow-up to the story. There is no update yet. It's not clear what the Oyo State police are doing about this case, because up until now, no one has been arrested. There is no suspect, and there is no person of interest. Maybe there is, but we don't know. It's not yet out. And again, time is not what we have, because the longer this case sits with nobody investigating it, the higher the chances of it not being solved. Many people have called out the fact that she was just a 17-year-old girl living alone by herself, and a lot of people felt she was way too young to be living alone by herself. And I agree. I don't know why, but a 17-year-old girl living all alone by herself in a lodge with other adults who are most likely twice her age, it sounds like a recipe for disaster. This was a child, if you ask me. Many people believe it's money rituals. A lot of people believe that she was targeted for money ritual by somebody. But how can somebody who is a money ritualist get into a house and commit such heinous acts and then walk out with a human being eyes without anyone in that lodge noticing something or saying something? It looks completely off to me. I feel that if the police are going to go through this case or investigate it, they should start asking her friends question. Who was she dating? We always know it won't be further from the boyfriend or someone who is an interest or somebody who she had let into a house before. Because it seems to me that somebody was in a house and she most likely trusted the person and things just went left. If she has a boyfriend that is known to people, he should be questioned. If she have love interest or people asking her out, they should be questioned. If she had a regular visitor that people in the lodge knows usually comes to visit her, they should identify who that person is, and that person should be questioned. Because for a 17-year-old girl, I can imagine how naive she must have been. This is the age where a lot of them can easily fall for anything. Show them a little interest and they will fall for it. Young girls are that gullible this time. Especially if she met the person online, which, by the way, I think her mobile phone and track record, phone calls and chats will be useful in this case. So I think the police have a lot to work with if they really care, and I don't see why the police would not care, because other than getting justice for her, There is a ritualist out there going around killing girls and cutting off their eyes. Are they going to wait for another victim before they sit up? Because this looks like there's someone out there that need to be caged and arrested before they commit another crime, before they kill someone else. But another thing again I would also want to add, or something that I feel might be a possible way the police can look at, or a possible angle that the police can look into, is the neighbors. Yes, the neighbors, people in the lodge, people who have direct access to her, people who can easily go and borrow salt, pepper, or go to charge their phone in her house. We saw a similar case sometime last year where a young student was brutally assaulted and killed and murdered in her own sister's apartment that was in a student lodge. And we all thought it was boyfriends or love interests that came into the lodge. And when the police did their investigation, it turned out it was the neighbors who lived close to her that did it. And I see this possibly being her case. I feel like a lot of people who have seen her and have seen how gullible or how naive she might have been, how young and petite she might have been, how much of an easy target she is. She is like this is the easiest target. A 17-year-old girl in a university lodge outside of school campus, no protection, no security men. Clearly, this was easy target. This was and look at her face, such a baby face. Who wouldn't want to take advantage of her? Which demon or devil would see this and not rush into it? Because I feel like that was the case here. And the only group of people that can easily get access to her and do this without anybody noticing anything is someone who was already there in the first place. And the neighbors are people that the police should look at. The neighbors, the ones who live next to her, those people should be investigated. Because, like we've said before, the killers are usually not very far and they are not usually strangers. I really hope there's an update to this story so I can present it to you guys, because I don't know what the police are doing. There have been no possible suspect arrested. Hopefully, if there is, I will let you guys know. But let me know your thoughts regarding this story. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how the police can get this case solved in your own opinion. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also turn on notification button so should there be any future updates, I'll be happy to update you guys.